Good morning and sliding into afternoon. We're having to do things a little bit different today because I have some technology issues and my techie is not here to bail me out. I'm trying to see where that shadow is coming from because I can't tell. But that's why if you'll bear with me, we'll get through this today because this is really fun. We haven't had to do something like this in a while, so we get so spoiled to technology, but technology is not working this morning, so we're having to do something different. So, if you're out there, be sure to say hello. Judy Allen here at San Antonio, Texas. It's all about keeping it simple or stepping it up today. And we're going to go down here. So what I've done with the One Sheet Wonder, I want to show you how you can use that 6x6 and do some things with it. So, this is originally a 6x6. And all I did is cut off 3 inches all the way down. So we'll just scoot that aside. That left me with the rest of my 6x6 with a 3x6 that was straight. So the first thing I did is I cut it in half right here. So I have a 3x3 here. And I have a 3x3 here originally. Okay. Then I just cut these into 1.5 inch squares. Now I'm just going to set them aside a moment because we're not going to work with them right now, but I want to show you how it's done. And we're actually going to set this one aside as well too. So the first one we're going to work with is, these are all 1/2 inch strips out of that 3x3. So it looks a lot bigger when you start scattering them out like that and all, but it's not. There's a 3x3. So you want to know this paper is from the New Celebration. And this is called Dainty Flowers. It's one of the things that you can get free, and it's one of my favorite papers. There's a couple of favorite papers, but this is one of the favorite ones. So we're going to work with this here. And the first one we're going to do, we're going to start off simple, right? We always like to start off simple. So what we're going to do this is I have got some cardstock. And again, that's 1.5 inches by 3. And I've got some crushed curry here, as well as, believe it or not, this is Blackberry Beauty. It's very pretty. And we're going to do this. All right. So I'm going to get this blue out of the way because we're not going to be using the blue. I just did that to show you what it looks like and so you get an idea. All right. So I'm just going to move this all over, give you an idea of what we're going to do. I'm keeping it in order because this is all about keeping it simple, right? And today's about keeping it simple. And this is really simple. All I did with this here is I set up here. Let me see if I can get dimensions for you. If not, I can take this off right here. This is nothing more than a 4 inch by 3.5. All right, 3.5 by 4 inches. So I'm going to use the 4 inch length here, and we're just going to put these on here. Okay, I'm not going to do anything fancy with them. I'm just going to use some adhesive here. And if you're out there, please be sure to say hello and all, because we always enter you in the drawings and stuff like that as well too. But I'm just going to use this right here. So you're just going to see my hands today, all right? We'll come back later, and we'll put it on YouTube. We might can fix it and get the thing over here fixed. Let me keep these in order, though, because what I want to do, I'll start with this one because I know this one's in order. What I want to do is I'm just trying to give it a stained glass look, right? And so all I'm doing is just making sure that when I go and lay this down, I'm just going to give it an edge on each end. And you know what? If I have to come back and cut some off, I can, right? That's not the end of the world. So we're just going to put these on. Actually sort of feels weird not looking at the camera and saying hello to you face to face, but it's okay. The sun still rose today. It is supposed to be 81 degrees today in the winter time in San Antonio. Wow. I had to go dig out my summer stuff. But anyway, it's still a beautiful day. All right, so then I started to mess those up a little bit. See, so it's easy to start lining it back up. It's like a puzzle piece, right? If you can't remember what you did, then just go see where you line up at. So this one's going to line up right here. It's sort of like don't sweat the small stuff. I like this because this is just easy. It's easy because it's like a puzzle piece, right? You're just lining them all next to each other. Just a little bit of space between each one, like I said, just to give it that whole stained glass. I call it stained glass look. I'm sure people call it other things, but if you ever done stained glass or seen stained glasses in churches or artwork or anything, you'll see the same thing. And so I'm just lining them up that way, just enough to give it some extra color. But that's it, right? I'm not doing anything else fancy about it. And I'm just going to like keep on doing these down. And then you know what? If I have too much paper at the end, I can size it down, right? Or I could add some bling. Or I could add some ribbon, right? So there's always choices. Always choices. And always for me, right? Don't much you. Just depends on the day. Day of the week. Today's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. So if you're out there saying hello to me, it's hard for me to really know because my phone takes up the whole screen for me to do this. So I'm trying to look over. I have a laptop I scrambled to get. Since the big computer, the screen went blank. So there you go. All right, so see how nice that looks? And that is. That'd be very nice and easy to add bling. We're just going to put it up here, and I'm going to put it up here with dimensionals. So I'm going to first wrap it. I got two options. I brought the white ribbon, which will go very nice. And then I also brought along, I'm going to find it since I had to do a mad scramble here. I also brought this here. It's just a string that you can get. And it actually goes with a lot of things. All right. So I'm just going to wrap it around a couple of times. And either I'll tie a square knot or I'll tie a bow. Okay. So that's all I'm going to do is just going to wrap it around a couple of times any way you want to. Right. It's your creation. So you can do whatever you want. That's what makes it really, really nice, right? Nobody's going to grade you. Everybody's just going to ooh and ah about what you made. It's not like school where you might have been graded for your artwork. Not here. No, here you don't get graded for that. So I'm just going to tie this right here. And then I'm just going to put something. I'm going to put some bling. I'm going to do this. Try to do this live. If I can't, then I'll just tie a square knot and deal with it later. But, I've got all kind of dynamics working today that I really wasn't anticipating. It says somebody's watching. So, hello, whoever's watching. I can't really tell because I've really got my my phone looking down at here so I can just see it's sort of in my face, right? It's in my face right here. And I'm just going to do it right here. And I'm going to trim it off. I do want it to hang over just a little bit, all right? But I am going to put the bling there, all right? So let's get some dimensionals on here, and we'll get this raised up. And it's just a simple card, right? It's just 3 by 3. We've made it look bigger, right? Just because of the fact that we set up there and added. I shouldn't say added. We set up there and sliced it up, right? So it just makes it look bigger. So, but it's all this today is just created from a 3 by 3 piece of beautiful paper. This beautiful paper also has real pretty on the back side. I'll show you in a minute one of the larger pieces. I could have just as easily used it. So I'm just going to go ahead because I have already had originally, and I already knew I was going to stamp to the left over here, to the right over here. So I can get my direction straight. I'm going to put this down right here, and I'm going to stamp thank you because I still have a lot of thank you cards. And I'm just going to stamp it over here, and I'm going to do it with Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to use that color on everything. It'll make it just fine. And you could tell me if I'm too loud, but I don't know there's not too much I can do about it because the camera is like literally in my face. If I'm too low, let me see if I get the sound up a little bit better. If I have to redo this later, I will redo it. We'll redo it if we have to. And we'll sit there and put it on YouTube, right? So we put all of our stuff on YouTube and Instagram, Pinterest. So we do it all. We do it all. Keep the techie busy. She keeps me busy. Perfect relationship. Yep. All right. So from this, I'm just going to add some bling. And we're done. And we have a very beautiful card. So, all right. In all my chaos, I don't have my bling. All right. So we will. When you see the finished thing, I'll sit there and put some bling. But the butterflies look very good. What I had was some white pearls. So in my madness to scramble with technology, I did away with my bling, so we'll just have to wait a little bit for that. All right, well, anyway, here's card number 1 with no bling, but there will be bling when it's finished. All right, let's go on to card 2. We're not going to sweat the small stuff because that's really sort of the small stuff at the moment. I got bigger issues with the computer not working. All right, so this next one here is we're going to use those 4 1.5-inch squares. And what we've done is I've also gone and I've punched this. So if you've never seen a punch, it's like this here. And you just take it and you punch your paper through there. So I actually use 2 punches. I use this one here and this one as well. This is I think it's Lovely Label punch. I forget what this one is right here. But anyway, so I've used these 2 punches, all right, that we're going to use on this card. So we're going to take our squares that we had. And again, I'm going to line them up. So we actually have 2 choices here. And I've done this 2 ways. Again, I'm just lining them up so you can see how my colors all lined up and how my pictures all lined up, okay? I'm going to show you the bigger piece so you get an idea. So we actually have 2 choices here. This is what the back of this paper looks like, and it's really, really pretty, okay? So I could either leave the flowers like this and do the stained glass look, but we're going to do it in a square format. Or we could just as easily take these here and flip them over, just to give a little bit of variety. Now, I can tell you, we are going to use these tags right in the center. So, I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and leave it the way it was the first round. No, I won't. I'm just going to leave it this way. And you know what? If you like it the other way and want to see it the other way, guess what? I'll just do it again. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to sit here and put these up here. I can put these up on dimensionals, but I'm not because I'm going to put the tags up on dimensionals. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. We're just going to get these taped down. I should say the Stampin' Seal. You know, with it being a Wednesday, you always, you're thinking, all right, you're halfway through the week and everything's supposed to go smooth the rest of the week, right? Because you got the weekend going. So, goes to show you challenges come up and you just have to go with the flow. The sun will still rise tomorrow, right? So, yep, and I'm using something different here that I had on the road when I was out of town we used. So, just bear with me, please. If I have to redo, I'll just totally redo. It won't break my heart because I have plenty of thank you notes to be able to make. There's always somebody to thank, right? Whether it's somebody helping you at the hotel, when you're traveling, whether it's for gifts, whether it is just they did something special for you that you just needed help with. Okay, and so I'm just going to do this one a little bit closer together like this here. I'm going to get this one on here too. So, yes, we are doing this live and we are at home. So, yes, you get to hear the background noise of a home live. Because we have a dog and we have other people in the house, right? So, there you go. All right, so this is what we're going to do here. Now, this one here, I can put it up on dimensionals, and I am, because that'll just help it pop more. So I get all the sticky stuff off my hands. And then I'm just going to put the tags on here, and this one will be done. So we stepped this up only in the fact that we're just adding layers, right? We're just adding more layers, right? We're adding a tag with layers. We're adding this that's got layers. So that's what's going to be different. And we can still put string on here, right? The string will still get good. If you like, I have also some white ribbon. Let's see how that's going to look here. Because I can do either or, right? It's just, the white looks nice too. I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick with this because I was just going to try to do them all the same. See if I can get that detached from it. Got something sticky on my hands, or it's got something sticky. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to wrap. So this one I'm not going to tie a bow because I'm going to have my labels right across it. So all I'm going to do is come back here and I'm just going to wrap it a couple of times, right? I just want to give it a little extra look. Just give a little extra something there, right? And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. Now, actually, if I do this a little bit longer, and I can do that. Let's just stretch it a little bit longer. Let's use the tools we have right here. So I don't have to use, glue dots, and do this, that, and the other. Okay, so I'm just going to do that right there, all right, because that will hold it. Let me just tighten it up. I want it a little bit loose, right, but I don't want it like, I want it to have a nice flowy feel to it. So all I'm going to do is the string here that I just had. So actually, it'll hold all my strings, right? It will. And I'm just going to take this off. And we'll set it aside. We'll go ahead and take the paper off these. And we'll stick it down. And then we'll sit there and put our label on here. So I'm just going to center it like right about here. Okay. And then now we have our labels. So this is a brushed gold, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put it on with a label. I'm going to put it on with dimensional. Right, so the dimensional just gives everything, it just gives it a nice aspect, right? It gives it the depth and everything else, and that's really what makes it so special and nice. So I have two choices when I'm going to put on the next label, right? I can either or, I can sit there and put it on with dimensionals, and I hope I got this straight because it's really hard to tell because I'm not sitting down like I usually am, and I'm dealing with a phone upside down. So there you go. All right, so now I'm going to stamp this one here with, let's see, I have choices, just a note or thank you. I think I did this one just a note. Because to me, just a note is just as good as doing a thank you, right? I could sit up there and, let's see if I can get that shadow that's really like bugging me. See if that helps. No, I don't know what's causing the shadow. It could be the other computer. All right, so we're just going to stamp this with just a note. And this is just white. Okay, I got a little extra there that I didn't want, so let's see if we can do that again. So don't sweat this stuff, the small stuff, right? If you have to, just flip it over. And this time I'm just going to make sure I press down and not rock it or anyway. So this is Blackberry Bliss, and so as it dries, it'll get just a little bit darker, right? So let me close this here so I don't get my hand in it. All right, and then we're just going to put this on. So we do have choices, right? And the way I always do it is we can either leave it like this to show it to you, and I always suggest to people just do it like this to see how it looks. See what a difference that makes? So we didn't actually put anything down. We could have. See, I'm just going to stick right over it. Nobody is going to know I did this except if they watch the video, right? So if they watch the video, they're going to see it. So yes, I'm sorry. In my madness, I lost my bling. It's somewhere in my scramble to get a computer, a laptop, or something so I could get live since the main computer is not operating. So it will have bling added to it, but it's just quick and easy to sit there and use that 6x6, and we just sit there and did this 1.5 squares, right? That's just 3 by 3 that we cut 1.5 inch squares out of. So that is number 2, and we will have to add bling to that. All right, here's number 3. All right, number 3 is going to have some embossing on it, okay? So we're using the same paper because this paper is a 3x3. I've already die cut this, and that's just a scrap piece of paper. So actually then what do I have here is, this is a 3x5. I have actually embossed this, and I did bring that. So I made sure to bring my stuff to show you what I used, but I didn't bring my bling because I left it in the madness. Okay, so this is what I set up there and embossed it with. So this is cut down to a 3.5 by 5.5, or just do your paper that size to begin with and run it through the embosser, and it works just fine. So I'm going to go ahead, and we're not going to sit there and put that down yet, because what I'm going to do, this was just measurements for you. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Let me just show you. So if you see it right here, hi, Bridget. I am having technology issues today, and my techie is not here. So just to get you to go, just show you what that's going to look like, right? Now, if that is too tall and you don't want that, then fine. Let's see what it looks like, the smaller dimensionals. If you think that's too tall. All right, let's go with the lower one, all right? Just so you can see the different looks. I like to show you different looks. I like it when Bridget creates things, too, and shows me what she's been up to. I get inspired. So yeah, lady, I sit there and the computer has no screen whatsoever. So my lovely techie will get to deal with that when she gets off of work, if she can. So there you go. I'm sure that's going to make her day. Whoop, whoop. I'm just the one flexing, right? Just flexing. Go to plan B. If plan B doesn't work, go to plan C. I always have some contingency plans. All right, so we're just going to center this up, right? I'm just going to center this in the middle because they're both length. These are both 5.5 in length. And I'm going to do this here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it with that same thread. And we're going to just do the same thing. And see, I didn't put that down yet, and I don't want to, right? But this one, I'm actually going to tie a bow. But I'm still going to go ahead. I like to do the string at least 2 layers because it just helps give it, I don't know what kind of look you want to call it, but I like it. So that's the main thing, right? I'm not going to make something I don't like. And so when you tie this and keep this in mind, I already have this, and I have this. So I have to sort of keep in mind, where am I going to put this and where do I want this to lay? So I already have a general idea. I want it to lay right here. So it's just important for where I make that bow, right? If I can make it live. I figured if I add enough extra length, I can do just about anything. So again, I'm just going to tie this. And then when we're done, we'll sit there and put the whole thing down with adhesive. I can do dimensionals, right? We can always do dimensionals. But I think it'll give it a little too much height because I'm going to actually put my tags on with dimensionals too. So we got enough height going on right there. And you know what? If I want to move that around, I can. Okay? So I'm just going to put this down with some adhesive. And I'm just going to run right over that. So this, it's going to be, if it bothers you running across something that's been paused, I mean, you can either use the liquid glue. Another option, you could use the tear and tape. Is another way to do it as well, too. If it bothers you to sit there and use the runner like that. And then all I'm going to do is just put this down. So yes, everything is missing bling because going live is more important than losing my bling. So there you go. So you'll just have to see what we post when we finish the posting on Facebook and YouTube. You'll be able to see that. So I'm just going to stick this to the side, and I'm just going to use regular dimensionals on that. So I already know. Let's see here. We're going to have to look at this a second. All right, so this is gone dimensional. So keep that in mind. I'd put a lower dimensional. And I just dropped my tag just a second. So I put that on lower dimensional. So I'm really going to have to keep that in mind when I come over here, right? So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to put the dimensionals to the left. All right? Because we got different heights here. And so you have to take that in consideration if you're going to go off of what you had. And that's what I'm going to do. I want it to come over just like this because this is pretty gold. And it's just nice and looking. It looks very nice with this paper right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And this one I'm going to stamp with thank you. And let's see here. Again, I'm using the Blackberry Bliss. I hope I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. Just checking to make sure I didn't knock the phone out of whack. We can only, have so many issues in one day, right? Because at that point, if we have too many, I just unplug everything. All right. That is my solution because it is technology. All right. So see, I did that too much. All right. So all I'm going to do is do it again. Flip it over. And I'm going to tag it this time. Make sure I don't press over on that. See what that looks like. Okay. See? There we go. Whoop, whoop. So the key to the rubber stamps are, because you can't really see what you're doing it, like the polymer stamps, is don't rock it. It says I'll show you right here. So if I do like this, if I do straight down, it'll be okay. But if I do like this and like this to move it, to think I'm getting it better inked, that's what's going to happen. So it's just better to stamp and lift up, and you don't have that issue. Okay, so even I have that issue from time to time. This one, I'm just going to use adhesive, okay? So the final touch that we really need for all of this is bling, 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 bling. Okay, and we'll get there. And so I'm just going to set this right here. This is, I want to tell you it's a 1/2 inch, but it looks like it's more than 1/2 inch. I'd actually have to measure it. And I have a ruler here. All right, so just to let you know, this is like a little over 1 3/4 inches. It's right at 2 inches, really. And then this is 3/4 of an inch. All right, just to give you an idea what that is. So, without having my bling with me here, you know, I got to finish out the bling. But hey, at least I'm live and I'm alive, and the sun rose today and it'll rise tomorrow. So here is what we have without our bling. So we started off simple here and just did a stamping here to the side, and we'll bling that baby up. Then this is just, remember, this is just 3 inches long and only a 1/2 inch. These are all 1/2 inches. This is a 3x3 that's been cut into 4 1.5 inch squares. And this one here is just using I wrote this one down. This is a 3x5, 3 inches wide by 5 1/4. Now, the thing I did do with this, we do have one little piece left over to add to this. This is what's left over from this piece right here. And you can see it looks like it went right up there to begin with. Either here or the bottom. One went down here at the bottom. So all we're going to do is we're actually going to open this up. And I must have left that with my other stuff as well, too. And literally, we're going to put a 4 by 5 1/4 in here to coordinate with the front. And we're just going to put this down at the bottom. I'll most probably just cut it in half and put it down here. And that way, I've used every bit of that 6 by 6 piece of paper. So I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's always about creating, sharing, and giving. And we would hope that you follow us not only here, but on YouTube. We post all of our videos on YouTube. We also post on Instagram and Pinterest. And let's see. I think that's about it for the moment. That's all I know. And just keep in mind, this paper was from Celebration, which you can get free between now and the end of February with a $50 minimum purchase. But anyway, this is one of my favorites. But with that, be blessed. Have a totally amazing week. And we'll see what we can do later to get this all cleaned up for what I got going here. But see you next week on Keep It Simple or Step It Up. Go out there and create, share, and give. Bye.